The Baylor Bears pulled off a victory in their last game against the Kansas State Wildcats, and they now advance to take on the 2 seed in the Big 12, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, one of my favorite teams in the country, one of the best players in the country, and JT Toppin, transferring in from New Mexico. He has been absolutely incredible this year. I am ringing the first round draft pick, JT Toppin, NBA bell, whenever he picks that time to go. But I really love this Texas Tech team. They have a lot of good pieces that I really love. I'm a massive Grant McCasland fan. This is honestly a really good coaching matchup. I'm gonna like to watch with Scott Drew versus Grant McCasland. So, Subi, I'll throw it over to you first. You have Baylor taking on Texas Tech. What are your initial overviews of this game?
Yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to look at is Texas Tech's offense. Okay. And so what do I mean by that? They've been elite all season. They've been elite with putting the ball in the hoop. They're shooting really good percentage. But how many times, Carter, do we see in the postseason teams can lock up a little bit, right? And so this is the best team Texas Tech has had probably since the team that finished runner up, right?
Yeah.
In the national championship game.
Oh,
And there's some
let's not talk about that year, please. Thank you.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We got
Oh, that's
Arizona.
on me. See,
No, we have the Arizona preview next. It's okay. Please go on.
come on, man. At least you got to there.
Nah, please, you were cooking. I'm sorry.
No, 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 you're good. Um, I just think Texas Tech's offense is going to be something to watch because they've had a little bit of a break now, but now they have some serious expectations. And not only the team expectations, but you got the personal expectations, right? You got the Big 12 Player of the Year in JT Toppin, who's been tremendous. Um, Chance McMillan's had a really strong season as well. I think I'm just looking to see how they settle into this ball game because Baylor is not that good of a defensive team. I think this is probably the best matchup you could ask for if you're Tech. Baylor's still dangerous, but I think going into this, getting your feet wet, right, your first game, all these expectations. Very curious to see how Tech comes out offensively, and if they don't get into a rhythm early, how's that going to impact them moving forward? This is going to be a good litmus test. So, I think the first 10 minutes, I'm very intrigued to watch. What about you?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of things that point to Texas Tech being able to get across the finish line here. One, they are a really good offensive rebounding team, really, really good. Baylor's really bad at preventing it. Teams rebound 31% of their shots. It's good for 258th in the country. This Baylor defense just has a lot of lacking points, I guess is how I would put it. It's a Baylor defense. I think we all watch a lot of college basketball. We know how Baylor defenses operate. They're not very good at guarding the three either. Texas Tech is top 20 in the country from 3-point range. They have a lot of snipers, a lot of guys that can shoot the ball really well. They, as a team, shoot around 30, almost 38% from three. So they're a team that can really fill it up. And it's going to take a pretty good Baylor offensive performance in this basketball game. They're going to have to knock down some threes in this game. I think they're going to have to, honestly, I think there needs to be maybe even a thought in the back of their mind to possibly get Norchad touches early to possibly draw some fouls on JT Toppin. I would literally tell Norchad to go throw his big old body into JT Toppin and see if he can pick up a cheap one because I think that would maybe shift some things for this um, kind of for this Texas Tech or for this Baylor team. Subi, what do you think is the key matchup in this game? Because like I said, the offensive rebounding sticks out to me. The fact that Baylor's so bad at defending the three, where on the other hand, Texas Tech's so good at shooting the three. What's gonna give in this game, do you think?
So, keep me honest here. We got Jaden Nunn coming off the bench, right?
Hmm.
Christian Anderson comes off the bench for Texas Tech, right?
Hmm.
I think that's going to be a critical matchup. I think both of those guys are supremely underrated.
Hmm.
And Jaden Nunn's coming off of a really strong contribution and a really strong game. Christian Anderson, on the other hand, I personally think this should be Grant McCaslin's number one priority, no matter how the season ends, to retain that young man. I don't know if he has any inkling of leaving. I just don't know with the portal and players. But
You know how that goes.
yeah, we do. And so he is, I'm telling you, he's ascending on this meteoric rise. Like, if you don't know the name Christian Anderson, get used to it. I'm fairly confident he's going to have a big game in the NCAA tournament. He's already had some great efforts in the regular season. So, if funny enough, Cart, I'm not looking to any starters head to head. I'm looking at what those two guys off the bench can give because the bench really propelled Baylor in their first win in the Big 12 tournament. And Texas Tech's offense is so elite, and
Mm.
it seems like they get contributions from everywhere. I want to see if Christian Anderson can match that, especially because he's a freshman. This is his first real big time game. Like I'm telling you, man, this is new territory for a lot of these Red Raiders, right? Like I understand VJ Edgecombe hasn't been here before, but Baylor as a whole, like Norchad Omir's been to a Final Four. Scott Drew's done his thing. Um, this is relatively green for the Red Raiders, a little color played right there. But I'm excited to see the matchup between Jaden Nunn and Christian Anderson. Any personnel that you're looking at?
Yeah, well, one, I think every single day, I thank my lucky stars that Juwan got fired and Christian Anderson didn't end up at Michigan. You know, he was committed to Michigan originally, right?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, he was committed to Michigan. There was a lot of things said about him because, like, he was kind of undersized. He did grow a little bit and actually put on some weight at Texas Tech. He's going to be great. It's so hard not to do the next year thing with Texas Tech. Like, dog, there's a world they get Toppin back, Darian Williams back. I think Chance McMillan can get another year. You get Anderson back. They get Overton back. Like this, Texas Tech Red Raiders, you know what I'm saying? Throw up the guns. Y'all got something cooking there. But in this game specifically, I do think that is going to be big in this one because, you know, let's say the star in this game. Now, I think that Texas Tech stars can outstar Valdez and Norchad as a whole, right? Maybe they end up cancel each other out. Let's say they do cancel each other out. I do think that there is going to be a world where Christian Anderson needs to step up, or a guy like even maybe Elijah Hawkins in a role where he needs to maybe score the basketball instead of just passing the basketball. There's going to have to be a moment where that happens. But if I'm a Texas Tech offensive player, mainly if I'm Chance McMillan, if I'm Christian Anderson, I'll throw Darian Williams in that mold as well. My eyes are lighting up at this 3-point defense. Like McMillan is just under 45% from three, and it's a lot of attempts, and they're not easy ones. They're deep. Christian Anderson, like you just mentioned, 41% as a freshman on a top 5, top 10 team in the country. He's been so impressive this year. It's going to take a special and I guess gets me to the end of this. It's going to take a out of character Baylor defensive performance in this game, and out of character Baylor offensive performance or defensive performances don't happen. So I guess I'll ask you this, Subi: do they try to just go offense for offense with them and
Yeah.
see if that can work?
Yes. Actually, I think that's exactly what the approach is going to be. And honestly, it might work, and I think you just got to hope. That's why I said I brought up Texas Tech. I'm interested to see how they do the first 10 minutes, right? Because if they're missing some shots, maybe they get in their own head. But I wouldn't count on it. I do think that's the best approach, though, for Baylor. Don't try to throw the kitchen sink at them defensively. Try to do it offensively. And I think VJ can actually get into the paint and draw those fouls as well, taking a little bit of load off of Norchad, trying to draw any fouls on the big men, especially Toppin. But I mean, we can go band for band. I think that's what Scott Drew's gonna try and say. I don't think it's going to work out though. I like in looking at this game and previewing this game card and like thinking about it, I'm just sitting here saying I trust one of the best offenses in the entire country. And it's way more fun, by the way, talking about a team where you can say, I'm taking them because of their offense as opposed to their defense. Like, I don't care about the defense wins championships, nonsense, blah, 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 blah. I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
Texas Tech can get to a Final Four strictly based on their offense, I think.
100%. And look, the way I see this game playing out when I do close my eyes, I think there's going to be a stretch where these teams just do go offense for offense, but eventually the offense that's better is going to kind of rise to the occasion. And Texas Tech isn't a great defensive team. They're a better defensive team than Baylor, so they might manage to get some stops in there as well. That'll get us to our prediction portion of this. Ken Palm has this as a 5-point win for Texas Tech, 75-70. Subi, which way are you leaning in this one? I think I know, but I want to hear you verbalize it.
That seems a little low for me scoring wise, maybe even spread wise. I'm going to say 88-80 Red Raiders.
Yeah, I think they flirt with 90 points in this basketball game. I like that. I'm gonna go there. I think this game ends 90, let's say 90-78. 90-78. Good Valdez game, but just way too much offense for Texas Tech. They might hit like 14 threes in this basketball game. There's a very real world where that happens. But whatever happens, you will have the recap over here on Sleepers Media YouTube channel. We have you covered for all the Big 12 tournament games, recaps, previews, everything you need. Be sure to like, subscribe, tap in with us. We got you covered.